Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another interview with Hollywood Now, where we bring to you one-on-one great interviews with Hollywood celebrities and Hollywood star power, and just wonderful, great dealing with the Hollywood community. Today, it's no exceptions. We have a wonderful, great um, interview today with a great celebrity. Before we get started, we'd ask you guys to subscribe now, share this video. We also on Roku streaming. We are on King Simon Entertainment. Please, if you want to connect with us, partner with us, we'll be thanking our partners at the end. We're going to get right into this video right now. But we'll be on King Solomon Entertainment.tv, on the Hollywood Now platform on Roku, King Simon Entertainment, lowercase one word. And I appreciate you guys connect with us. Make sure you guys subscribe and share. Today we have a wonderful, great guest, Hollywood star. His credits are endless, and let me start by giving him his due. Stand-up comedian. He was also a Soul Train dancer. He also started on BET Comic View, as well as the Russell Simmons Def Comedy Jam, Comedy Central, the Arsenio Hall, Jay Leno, Straight Clowning, Living Color, the Laugh Factory, of course. He's also was a writer on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He opened for such comics as Sinbad, Jamie Foxx, Damon Wayans, Bill Cosby, TV shows such as Martin, Girlfriends, The Parkers, All of Us. And we're so glad to have today on the platform comedian, actor, Alex Thomas. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey, man, you forgot I sell pit bull puppies and weed. So anything you need, I really have. I started my own little dispensary in the back of the truck.
Okay.
So after the show, just meet me by the Range Rover. I got pit bull puppies and Kush. So yeah, I do it all. We forgot male exotic dancer, porn, anything that paid, brother. You know what I mean? When you got to pay bills, man, however that money can come in. You understand me?
That's amazing. No, your credits, I could have kept going. You know what I'm saying?
You really could have. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess the long story short, yeah, man, I'm celebrating this year 30 years in the business, in the Hollywood business of being able to do what I love to do, acting, TV, comedy, stand-up, whatever you want to call it, voiceovers.
You have a great podcast platform too. I've seen your
Absolutely, my podcast. That's right there on my. It's called The Funny Don't Stop Show. Been doing that now. We're on 6 seasons now, 146 episodes. Got a great cast: Savvy, Amusing, Sid, Brass, my boy Raul, and you know, just during the pandemic, it was just a way to vent. You know, being a stand-up comic and being on stages every night of my life for over 25 years, it was just weird to not be able to go out anymore or go anywhere. So we actually started a little before the pandemic, but it was a great outlet for me. But yeah, they can like and subscribe and go to that also, The Funny Don't Stop Show. That's my podcast every Tuesday.
No, it's amazing. Your career, like I said, has been long and it has been very good. You've always been funny. You always a joy to watch. How much of that do you credit to being born and raised in Los Angeles? Because your bio says straight from high school to the pros. So, I mean, you was ready at high school. It's just like take people years, but for you started off hitting the ground running, like they say.
Hey man, there's kind of a slight little lie in there, and the little lie is, I did go to college, but I only went to college for 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes. Okay.
so yeah, it really was like high school to the pros. College didn't work out for me. And by the way, anybody listen, I would encourage college for any and every young person coming out of high school. It's just not for everybody. I mean, I have 3 kids now, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and I'm encouraging college. College is number one. That's how you get an education and better yourself to, you know, do more things in this world. You get what I'm saying? I would never tell a kid not to go to college. It's just it didn't work out for me. And it's something you said that kind of resonated me when you said Hollywood. I always explain to people, I just happen to work in Hollywood, but I'm not Hollywood. Because I'm one of the rare few dudes that was born and raised in this city. So, nothing against, shout out to all my peers and all my people that are in the business that came from all different places all over the world to come to LA to become a star. No, I was born and raised in this. So we always said, you flew here,
Yeah, I
We
agree. Yeah,
grew here. You get what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's a big
yeah.
difference. And that's why I've always been able to stay grounded. I'm not a over the top flashy guy. I can go anywhere I want in this city and I'm good because I never got caught up into that Hollywood. I hate
No,
to say the Hollywood bullshit part.
no, it's serious. It's a real thing,
Yeah.
and it's so true that you said that because I've been in LA for a long time now, but I'm from somewhere else as well. But I knew the difference between people who just got here with that mentality versus people who was born and raised here. And like my friend used to say, east of Olympic, we don't play that, you know. So so he
And
was
you know
born and
what? The
raised. Yeah,
city is beautiful. I mean, it's just like any other city in the world. There's good and there's bad.
yeah,
I hate when people go, you think I'm from Chicago. I'm from Detroit. Okay. I love Detroit. I love
yeah,
Chicago. There's good and bad there also.
yeah, good and bad. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
get what I'm saying? Yeah, I was
No,
born and raised in South Central LA. And
I
yeah, I was
believe.
born around Crips and Bloods and gangbanging and killing and cocaine and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff in the
yeah,
70s and 80s. But not all of us, not every single black man
yeah.
that grew up in South Central in LA was a gangbanger. I'm
Exactly.
living proof of it.
No,
Yes,
absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
can I cuss on this?
You do what you do.
Okay. I'm a nigga that can golf and sea walk. Okay.
No,
Okay.
you're average golfer. You know, you're average.
I know gangbangers. I also know Wayne Gretzky and Will Smith. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm very well rounded. If
yeah.
it's a good way of putting it, and that's what I'm going to instill in my kids. You know, the world is different colors.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't just black. It ain't just white. And you got to be able to maneuver and navigate on this planet. You know what I mean? So I was very fortunate. Yeah, even though I grew up in an unfortunate situation in South Central LA, my parents bused me to an
Yeah.
all-white private school. You know, heart smack dab middle of Beverly Hills, Burton Way and Doheny. Never in a billion years would I have thought. I'm cutting to now. 30 years later, I ended up writing on one of the biggest TV shows of all time, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I didn't know that background was going to help me later on in my life. And like my first 5 years of stand-up, early 90s, my whole act was about being the only black kid in an all-white private school. That was all my jokes. all my stories from, I mean, I got stories, dude, just getting teased my whole life by my own family. My brothers in my neighborhood. You sound like a white boy. You act like a white boy. I used to be like, holy cow, whatever gave you that idea.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, imagine, you know, everybody in your neighborhood's a Crip or a Blood, right?
Yeah.
A gangbanger, a drug dealer. But here I am walking down the street in some OP shorts, Vans, and a skateboard and a Rubik's Cube. and I just wasn't doing stuff the brothers were doing. You know, it was just, it is what it is. I'm sorry, I can swim. I'm sorry, I played golf. I'm sorry, I was part of the speech and debate club. All right, I was good friends with my father. A whole lot of things brothers weren't doing. It was just my life. But here's the flip side. It's still the black side of me. Still came home to the hood every day. I still was around black folks all day. So I wasn't like Carlton. Like Carlton on the show, he was like completely white black guy. I had that side of me. Like, I played soccer, but I also knew how to shoot dice. Yeah. I like barbecue ribs, but I also like sushi. You know what I mean? It was like a nice little mixture.
The Will Smith real experience, because he was like, don't get it twisted. I'm from West Philly. I'm from Philly. You know,
exactly.
I'm from Philly. You know,
and that's why Will Smith and I got along so well. The same, I mean, I saw this man every day of my life for 4 years. We're the same age. We got the same sign. And we just hit it off. The same way he kind of grew up in Philly. Yeah. Was kind of like my way in LA. And it's so funny. We talk about a lot of things. It's like, now my daughter, cut to now I'm a daddy, right? And now I have a 6-year-old daughter that goes to one of the most prestigious private schools in all of LA, let alone America, right? Yeah. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, you know how I know we made the right decision to put our daughter in that school? The menu. Okay.
The menu. Okay.
The menu. Let me just tell you, my daughter's 6.
Okay.
Okay. Yesterday. For lunch. She had grass-fed turkey meatballs.
Grass-fed.
Yeah, grass-fed. She had alkaline water. She had sushi and edamame.
Oh wow.
First grade. First grade. You know what the menu was? When I was in first grade, a sloppy Joe, a coffee cake, and a chocolate milk. Okay. That was every day.
Oh my.
Prison food is better than that shit. Okay.
No.
My
But those
daughter.
those LA cookies should be banging though. Those lunch
Oh my God!
should be
What?
banging.
Oh, what? It was so funny is my daughter asked me. She goes, "Daddy, when you were in first grade, did you have grass-fed turkey meatballs?" I was like, "Baby, when I was in first grade, we didn't have grass."
Right, we have. But the
Okay.
cookie was good. The cookie was good.
Yeah. Times have definitely changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's amazing. So would it be fair to say the art of getting in there and learning right away and really scoring really big, really early, like the industry was your learning ground, was your how you learned by, because people book and then they learn on the job. So definitely on the job was definitely what
That's
you learned.
really what it was, man. It was like truly on the job training. Like, people always bring up my Soul Train pass, but just to give you a quick summary of that's 15 years old to 20, dude. I'm still a kid.
That's huge.
It's like when 15 and 20, the majority of the homies, they're on the football team, basketball. Those years of kind of molding where you're going to kind of go. You still don't know yet. I don't know anybody 15 to 20 is like, here's what I'm going to do in life, and boom, that's going to be it, right? Those are still the years of you trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So 15 to 20, basketball, sports, or in my case, South Central LA, you gangbanging and selling drugs.
Yeah.
I was on TV every week.
Yeah.
And at that time, the biggest show on TV as far as black folks went, it didn't get no bigger than Soul Train.
Every Saturday.
That's before BET. That's before MTV. That's before all that shit. No matter who you were, whether you were Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, or Tony, you wanted to be on Soul Train.
No, absolutely. Because
so in my case,
we had to get up early because it wasn't reruns back then. So we didn't have our chores done. We missed. So we got up early. We made sure we cleaned up. We wanted to watch Soul Train every Saturday. It was really, really big. Really.
So imagine being 15 years old in the hood, and I'm already like a semi-hood celebrity.
Yeah.
Because the gangbangers, the killers, hey man, they were watching.
They watched Soul Train.
Soul Train also. He might have killed somebody, but that nigga could pop lock. You know what I mean? And here I am. I'm on bus stops.
Yeah.
No car. Yeah. $10 in my pocket. Yeah. A little dude from Soul Train. That's a little dancing nigga. So that was the beginning of my taste.
Yeah. No, that was
entertainment.
That was just definitely a blueprint because when you came to Hollywood, people said, "Well, how do you want to get started?" Everybody was like, "Go Soul Train." That was definitely the beginning of a lot of people's career that went on to do great things. A lot of people did.
Yeah, and you got to understand too. Let's just say 15 to 20. Where else is a 15 to 20-year-old dude from South Central LA gonna be meeting stars?
Yeah, celebrities. Yeah.
I'm meeting superstars, and they're liking this little dude. I mean, they watched the show too.
Yeah.
So they were recognizing me. Didn't really know my name, but you're the little dude. And then when they see me in person, now they're laughing. Yeah. I didn't know I was a comedian. I wasn't saying, I'm gonna be a comedian as soon as I go down the Soul Train line. I didn't know. High school, I'm just the class clown, best sense of humor, but it wasn't like in the plan. So
now,
how
did you transition from that to doing stand-up?
Man, long story short, they just did a little special on me on BET. It's called I Was a Soul Train Dancer. Okay. It's actually going on their 4th season. You can go on YouTube and type in I Was a Soul Train Dancer. You'll see all kind of famous people that you had no clue. What's crazy is it came out just recently. People I've known for 25 years, dude. I had no idea.
Me neither.
I didn't know you. I was like, I thought everybody knew that. But anyway, long story short, met Rosie Perez, who was the star of the show back then. And I'm just cutting to after Soul Train. She got in the movies and she became a choreographer for this hit new show called In Living Color. Yeah. I was at that time in my life where am I going to go to college? Am I going to go to school? What am I going to get a regular job? I became one of her little assistants on the show with the Fly Girls. That was a real short stint because she had other guys that went on to really, really just stick to the dancing thing. Yeah. And that's where I met Damon Wayans. That's where I met Keenan Ivory Wayans. Long story short, they kind of talked me into it. Comedy just kind of organically happened. They're like, dude, you're a funny guy. No, write some shit down. Go on stage. It's there. I asked them, do comedians make money and do they get paid? They're like, look at us. And they were rich. So I was like, Maybe I'm gonna try that. You know what I mean? And the rest was history. 91 is when I started doing stand-up. Dancing was done. And one thing led to another, being in the right place at the right time. And I'm kind of like the epitome of relationships, man.
Yes,
I never claimed to be the most talented dude on the planet, but I have good relationships with people that really, truly mix that in with some talent. You got 30 years in the game of not having to have a regular job.
That's it. Relationships is everything. It's like 99% of the industry. It's really, really important. Now, the next transition from now you're doing stand up to now is, you know, how you get on there and think, I'm just going to tell the jokes that you tell around the family barbecue or the family gathering. When did it transition from, okay, I got to get my timing right, I got to really perfect this thing? How did that begin to come into play once you started doing stand up?
Just one word for that, and every comedian on the planet will tell you the exact same thing. It's called stage time.
Stage time.
You could think you're the funniest dude on the planet. You could be the funniest in your family. You kill it all the barbecues. You the man when you shooting dice. Hey, man, there's nothing like the mic and the stage.
Getting up there.
And 200 strangers. That's when I know you're a comedian. Can you go up? If I took you to Wyoming with me right now tomorrow night to open up for me, here's the mic. You next. Right. Give me 20 minutes.
Right. 20 minutes. Like
you will realize that this ain't for everybody. I mean, it's been known since the beginning of time, you know, as the hardest thing in the entertainment business.
And then a lot of comedians talk about the clubs that are really brutal, like those brutal clubs, like on the East Coast here. What about
that's where I started? Yeah. That's where I started. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like I've been battle tested. You know what I mean? Any black comedian in any era, but especially my era. My era is the Def Comedy Jam era. My era is the Apollo. My era is Comic View. My era was the hood, black, whatever you want to call it, Chitlin Circuit comedy clubs, where it wasn't just, okay, this guy, give it up for the next guy. You go up there and they're just quiet and listening. No.
Yeah,
you go deal in black rooms that feel like it is their obligation to humiliate you and jump off the nearest bridge as soon as you say goodnight. You know, I grew up in the generation of, if I had a 10-minute set, I had to shut them up for 6 minutes and possibly get 4 minutes of material in.
And what about heckling? The heckling, all that.
That's part of it. They drunk, they high, they don't know who you are. They don't like what you wearing. Nigga, who are you? You know, I came up in a generation like them. If you weren't a star and they already knew you, you had to prove it. And that's what I did every single night of my life. Amazing. Those first 4, 5, 6 years, man. And that made me, you know, the comedian that I am today. So when I did get in real comedy clubs, I was like, hold up, these people are listening?
Yeah.
They're quiet?
Yes.
Hold up. They want to hear what I have to say? No. I am about to destroy these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
To work to get to that point, that's good. When you transition to being a personality to where I come here, Alex, he's hilarious. You have to work to get to that point. You can really enjoy your set.
It's called paying your dues, man, like in any other game.
You've been in a lot of great film as well, Alex. You've been in Babs, you've been in The Wash, you've been in even your videos with the artists like Kanye West, 50 Cent, P. Diddy, and Snoop Dogg, and Bow Wow. What was it like on the TV set when you go from stand-up to now you're auditioning for roles? Of course, we all remember you from that Jamie Foxx show. Did a wonderful job on there.
Players Club, Don't Be a Menace was my first movie.
Don't Be a Menace, yeah.
I've been lucky, man, and very blessed to be in some hood classics, some movies that will live forever. You know, you might, people have seen 100 trillion movies, but certain shit just stands out in your head.
Over and over.
And I've been very fortunate to be a part of a lot of those in the Black history for our culture.
It's amazing.
I didn't ever cross over to the Tom Cruise level or the Tom Hanks level, but as far as my people go, yeah. So it's been a great thing, but man, it's been a great journey. Now I'm a daddy, married, beautiful kids, beautiful wife, and it's a it's a kind of a work smarter, not harder type situation with me right now.
Do you remember the time where on the sets of landing one of those TV or those film roles, and you thought, I'm here because it was a time when they wanted a comedian in every film because they kind of like want to have funny. Did you think, okay, they want me here because I'm funny, I'm gonna be funny? What about when the the art of acting, and you have to learn your lines, and you can't improv this. You have to know your lines. You know, what about that challenge? The real acting when you begin to take the craft really serious.
Yeah,
What was
the
your approach to
question I get a lot, man. I was one of those guys that when I took the leap of faith and the dive into this business and said, "This is what I'm going to do." There is no plan B. There's, well, what if this doesn't work out? There is no what if this is going to work out. This is going to work out. Positive thinking, number one. I was prepared, man. I one of those comedians that took acting classes in the beginning, knowing that it was going to happen. I didn't wait to afterwards because let's be real. I don't have to mention names and shit. There's a lot of comics that cannot act. There are a lot of people that can't act at all. So that's why being a stand-up comedian, you are on stage acting. We have a different type of role. It's like we are auditioning every time we touch a stage.
Yes.
You're practicing and working on your craft. But then there's the step further when you learn scene study and learning how to read scenes and reading a script and knowing what this and that means. And I was very fortunate that when I got these roles in these TV shows and these movies, I was able to apply what I learned. And you mix that in with the stand-up comedy chops, with being able to improv, but also knowing your lines and this stuff, it worked out well. And being around guys like Jamie Foxx every day, being around guys like Will Smith every day, being around the Wayans family every day, Martin, all my peers, Sinbad and Mark Curry, guys that were already on and doing TV and movie, you just kind of suck all that up. And it just kind of molds you into who you are. You know what I mean? I always tell the young comics, man, you got to be in it and around it.
No,
you got to eat, sleep, and shit this. You know what I mean?
You gotta live it. Yeah, you gotta really, that's their life.
So.
But what was that embrace like being around so many? You say those names so easily because I know this just show that's your
friends,
yeah. But those are huge figures. Those are larger than life figures. Those are big people who trailblaze and paved the way. What was the embrace like to be received by such a figure like Will Smith?
It felt great. It felt great, man, because it gave you a feeling of I belong here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in these rooms. I wouldn't be at this dude's house eating out his refrigerator and talking shit by his pool or playing golf or all this if I didn't belong. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so that was just the beginning of it. It made you feel like, man, I can get a seat at the table with these guys. Like maybe I am talented. Maybe there is something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people weren't as fortunate as that, Yeah. So I was one of those guys that realized, I can know them all day and they can be my friends all day, but I still have to stay talented. I still have to work on my craft. A lot of guys get real comfortable. They get around them and they forget, okay, why are you here? They forget, okay, you here. It's almost like getting to the highest level in sports. Okay, you're a pro now. You still got to work at your game.
Yeah.
Still got to be in the gym. Still got to be in shape. Still got to show the organization, the club, your teammates that you belong. So that's what I always worked on. Like, no matter what, I wasn't going to lose the funny. And that's why my hashtag today is the funny don't stop. Name of my next 1 hour special. The funny don't stop. Because it's truly the truth.
Yeah.
30 years in this business, if the funny stopped, my money would have stopped.
Yeah. When you look back and you see what you've done on the TV shows like Jamie and other shows, that's what I call magic or like magic. Did you know at that time you was making history and creating something that was going to last forever?
I didn't, man. It's so crazy, dude. Like, that question comes a lot. I'm just a young guy going to work every day, trying to be funny, trying to fit in and do what I'm supposed to do. You weren't thinking back then that a whole generation after you grew up on these shows. I wasn't thinking I was going to be the dude in my late 40s, early 50s, and somebody like a LeBron or a D Wade or these young dudes. Oh man, can I just tell you, bro? I grew up on you. Yo, you've been one of my favorites. And I'm like, damn, thanks for making me feel 79 up in here.
Right.
Like, you make me feel like I'm 87. You know what I mean? But it's like a great song.
Yeah.
You did the song 30 years ago. We can all think of tons of songs and great music that you play it right now, even though you have heard it 132 trillion times.
Yeah.
It's just great music.
Great music.
It's timeless. And that what make me feel great. That's what makes me feel great about the work, the body of work that I've done over years. Because I mean, whether I am in a prison performing, or I am at a Walmart, or I'm walking down the street with my daughter, somebody comes up to me reciting a line, telling me I was in one of their favorite TV shows, one of their favorite movies, one of their favorite comedy specials, and it just makes you good. It makes you feel good because you go, "Wow, people were really listening."
People really listening. Yeah.
I didn't know this guy. I was walking down the street in a small town in South Carolina 2 weeks ago. I ain't never been to South Carolina in my life. Brother just walks up to me and for 15 minutes tells me how much he loves me. And this nigga looked like he just killed somebody earlier that day. This nigga had tattoos on his face, gunshots, smelled like Newports and Hennessy, like he looked like a straight thugged out killer. But I don't know if his mind just cleared up for 2 seconds because he finally met somebody that he's been watching on TV his whole life. And I gave the brother a hug and said, "Man, I thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. I don't know this dude from a can of paint. You would think we were brothers." So it makes you feel good that this path that I chose helped me connect with people. And that's why it feels great when I go do a show in South Carolina and that guy comes to my show and he's sitting in the front row and I see tears of joy and laughter coming out of his face. It's like, man, God put me on this planet for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I probably made his day.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you got a picture.
He might not kill nobody for a month now. You know what I'm saying?
He got a picture. I'm sure you got a picture too, right? You got a picture?
Yeah, man. Come on, man. I need to stop all this violence, man. What the hell am I thinking, Alex Thomas? Oh, of course he got a picture.
Okay, there you go. He gonna remember for the rest of his life, you know? So,
exactly. Gonna put that shit in his wallet.
You mentioned relationships and you caught on right away how important it is to hone those relationships and to cultivate those relationships. Will Smith, Martin, all these wonderful people that you had the privilege of, even the Waynes of being around and working around. Can you think of some of the great advice and conversations you had with some of these great figures?
Man, it's kind of like what they said to me is what I tell to the young guys all the time now. And they're always, a lot of the young Instagram and social media guys, young stars, like they look up to me now. Now I'm the OG. Now I'm Unc. What up, Unc? You know what I mean? And I just tell them, man, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Real simple. Don't stop. And, you got to believe in you more than anybody.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in you, ain't nobody else going to believe in you. Damn what other people say. See, it's a different generation now because they almost judge themselves off of what other people are doing.
Yeah.
They judge themselves off of what other people are doing on their social media. And don't get me wrong, be aware, be aware of your surroundings, know the temperature, the pulse of what's going on, but you can get so caught up into what other people are doing and stop doing what you're here to do. So it's got to be a balance. Trust me, I know who's who. I know who's out there, but I look at it like this. I came 30 years without all this shit.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now I'm one of the OGs that I definitely utilize social media. Because it's a tool. It's a great new tool. I wish it was around when I was coming up. But I don't get so enthralled in it that I don't continue creating, that I don't keep working on my own content and being who I am. You know what I mean? So that's what I say to the young generation, and my advice to others. Keep doing what you're doing. And guess what? If it's not for you, you will know real quick, real fast, in a hurry.
Wow. So please let the audience know what you're working on now, what you got coming up, how they can connect with you, and support you.
Absolutely. What we didn't bring up was my new animated series, number one new animated series on Netflix right now. It's called Motown Magic.
Okay.
We're the only Black animated series.
Wow.
For us, by us, and it feels great. Smokey Robinson is executive producer. If you went to Netflix right now, type in Motown Magic. We're number one in America with African-American children between 1 and 10 years old.
Wow.
So if anybody's listening, has nieces, nephews, kids, grandkids, that are between 1 and 10, and you ain't hip to it, you must be sleeping under a rock. Go to Motown Magic. First thing you're going to pop up, you're going to see our 1965 red convertible Cadillac.
Wow.
That is me. my character name is Jimmy Mack. I'm a red 1965 Cadillac, and I'm in every episode. And very educational for the babies and for anybody 40 and older. They just going to sing along because every single episode is around a different Motown song.
Wow.
And for the people that don't know, the two biggest catalogs in music history is the Beatles and Motown.
And Motown. Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah, I'm proud to be a part of that. And like we said, my podcast, The Funny Don't Stop Show, we're on all platforms, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, everything. The Funny Don't Stop Show. And of course, my Instagram is at Funnyman Alex Thomas.
Well, I can't thank you enough. I know this has been a long time coming. Hollywood Now, Alex Thomas.
Thanks for having me, man.
Man, it's amazing to finally have you on. Watched your work, loved your work. Like I say, watched your movies, and I just wanted to have you on to thank you for your contribution and all the great things you're doing. I met you when doing the podcast when you was at the radio station in Hollywood and off of Sunset.
Oh, Dash, is that where I met you?
The Dash premiere, Dash party.
Where are you from? I see the San Francisco on your hat.
I'm from Chicago, but this was
a
fresh hat that I don't usually wear, so I gotta have my fresh hat on today. So
South side of Chicago.
South side of Low End, yep, South side of Chicago. But
I've been to LA. Is that the Wild Hundreds?
Well, Wild Hundreds is the Wild Hundreds. The Low End is the lower number. The hundreds is the upper numbers, hundreds. I'm from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, which is the low end numbers. So yeah.
Okay, so you got a Chicago White Sox hat too?
Absolutely. Right. Big White Sox fan, big Cubs fan. But I represent LA because I've been here for almost 20 years. So definitely represent LA. So because I went to school here and I learned because my speech cleared up too. And when I went back home, they checked me, what I'm saying? Because I was around the Valley kids or the kids who wanted to be Valley, so I was like, oh my God. And it's like everything was it's like I'm like hey dude, like it rubbed them the wrong way when I went back. So I almost got, hemmed up, so but I'm glad I learned that early. I learned that lesson
absolutely
very early and it grounded me. And now I'm conscious of it. I think when you're conscious of it, it's like, I put it in proper perspective. So I appreciate that lesson early on because I almost got ran into the traffic.
Of course. We could, any of us, no matter what hood or ghettos we came from, whether it was Brooklyn, Chicago, South Central, or Houston, Texas, or New Orleans, I mean, you could easily be a victim of circumstance. You could easily be, I hate to say it, another nigga with 1,000 excuses as to why you went to jail or why you started selling drugs. But man, we don't all have to be like that, man.
Absolutely.
If there's any youngsters out there listening and watching right now, man, we have to do better. Try to be better. Crime is not the answer.
Yeah.
The streets is not the answer. And of course you get people who, that's all we had. Hey man, that's an excuse.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an excuse. But unfortunately, a lot of times, and in our race, the father's not there.
Well,
mom is left to have to be mama and daddy.
Yeah.
There's only so much she could do. Shout out to all the super strong, beautiful Black women that had to be mama, daddy, grandmama, and everything else. It's only so much they can do. So we just got to keep leading by example, man. And, you lead by example doing what you're doing. I lead by example doing what we're doing. It's like the oldest saying in the book, but it is so true when they say it takes a village.
Yeah, and you had more activism back then because I remember all these wonderful, great programs you will hear about, and they'll take you out of the hood to the museum, the zoo. All these programs we used to have when we were younger, we don't have those programs anymore. So even if you live in the city, you got cultured from these programs that was Boys and Girls Club or the Mentor Club.
Yeah.
All those stuff don't exist no more. So it's like all you got is hood. It's
unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it's almost like they want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us stupid.
Yeah,
they want to keep us doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And there's no way to excel like that. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be some positivity. It's always going to be some people that slip through the cracks. It's always going to be some people. We just got to, it takes, we don't know who's watching us right now, man. Somebody's on the verge of doing some dumb shit. And they may be watching us and be like, man, what am I thinking, man? What am I thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you gotta know. I don't care how so-called dumb, high, drunk, whatever you want, that what you're doing right now is leading to horrible places. You're either gonna go to jail or end up dead doing the dumb shit that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
We're like
it's
preachers right now. You don't know who's listening
no,
and how
that's
they're
true.
going to take it. You know,
Yeah.
a preacher, when he goes up and does his sermon, he doesn't know everybody's problems, what everybody's going in this
Yeah.
room. All he could do is speak on it and hope that somebody receives what we're saying.
And change. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Young brother, before you pick up that gun, think about that, man. That little quick, dumb decision that you're about to make can change the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, and ruin your life because it's
And
really,
ruin your life.
yeah, yeah. Because
You
I
know how many
remember,
guys in prison right now that are our age or older being like, I wish I didn't do that dumb shit. That dumb shit I did when between 16 and 18 got me locked up in here for the rest of my life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But when I came to South Central and I had went to like Inglewood, which is pretty much still a hood, and I went to Derby and saw those horses, I was like, this is inner city. When I went to that, I was like, it was amazing to see those.
Because you don't hear about that part. You only hear about the bad shit.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
And I saw those horses out there. I was like, wow, it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. And
Time is changing.
Yeah.
It's called gentrification. They just built $1 trillion stadium in Inglewood. Shout out to the Rams, who I feel are about to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
White people are walking their dogs down Prairie in Manchester now. So hey,
they could have picked anywhere else. That was already nice right there. They could have picked anywhere else in Inglewood. They're gonna pick right there where the casino in Derby was. Come on, you know. But
Holly's called Hollywood Park.
Yeah, Hollywood Park.
And the casino you were talking about used to be called the Hollywood Park Casino.
No, it was beautiful. When I saw those horses, I was like, wow, it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. It was beautiful. Thank you so much, man. Like I say, I couldn't thank you enough. You have to come back. Anything you got, please don't be a stranger, be a friend. I love to have you back on. And keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for coming in with us, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, brother.
All right, later.
Alex Thomas, comedian, actor, amazing talent. Another interview with Hollywood Now. We're so excited. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That's the link. The link is also in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, share this video. We would love to hear from you. Hit the notification button, hit the comments, and we like to thank our sponsors before we leave, because we want to definitely say thank you to our sponsors. Do it without them. So we want to thank our sponsors before we go. Then we're going to call it another great interview. So hold on, hang tight. We thank our sponsors. HeartToHeartForYou.org. Heart to Heart mission is to supply every young person with a new pair of shoes, especially those who need them. A domestic and international nonprofit organization. 844-237-6344. Tell them King Solomon sent you. GQ Auto Connect. Simple, affordable, quality service that's worth it. New and used vehicles at a wholesale price and much more. 310-695-2404, Culver City, California. Tell them King Solomon sent you. GQAutoConnect.com. Dr. Amanda J. Rosette, Doctor of Physical Therapy, low back, neck, shoulder pain, pain management, post-surgical rehabilitation. RosettePhysicalTherapy.com. 424-243-5261. Tell them King Solomon sent you. Those are wonderful sponsors. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the King Solomon Entertainment platform. And till next time, guys, we thank you so much. Hollywood Now, King Solomon Entertainment. Subscribe, share. Yeah.